My name is Jason Simard, and I am the founder of Sims Coaching Systems. I'm here with my co-founder, Joe Moretti, and we're here on the 7-Figure Real Estate Podcast, the podcast you didn't know you even needed. Everyone, get your notepads out. Let's go. We're going to bring you value week over week, and we're actually going to be a lot of fun, and we hope to make you laugh out loud. Subscribe to our channel. Check the content out. If you're looking to take this to a whole nother level, we got you covered. Joe Moretti, happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday, man. Here we are.
Listen, Joe, as a friend, I just want you to know you need a haircut.
Man, you're swinging below the belt before we even started. My hair, I was thinking about maybe, because I had long hair for a little bit, I went almost 2 years. And then I cut it back before we went to Orlando. And I think I might grow like a pompadour, like slick back again, which is what I initially had. Not long, but a pompadour slick back. Because I know the long hair, there were some issues there.
Joe, there were some serious issues. In fact, it brings me back to a story in Whistler. And I think
the infamous Whistler trip.
I think sometimes, and ladies, I love you, but sometimes I think that you guys misunderstand guys and like banter. Because one of the things you have to understand about men, especially like close friends, is we make fun of each other all the time. To our faces, guys are nasty.
Oh, savages.
Like savages. I will rib you at every possible opportunity, and I know you'll do the same, as people have found from this freaking the little airport story. But here's the deal, ladies. To our faces, we might be like that, but behind each other's back, I'd be like, man, I'd take a bullet for that guy. He's a beauty. Yeah. I think the world of Joe, right? That's the truth. But to your face, I'll never say that. There's a funny story though in Whistler.
Oh, geez,
Joe, you're the best storyteller. You got to tell people the story of what happened in Whistler. Man. That was misunderstood by the opposite gender.
Man, what a story that was. Holy, I haven't even thought about that in a while. So again, I had long hair. Like, you got to think, like, we're talking 2 years. Like, it was like past my shoulders. And I will say it is receding a bit at the top. So did I need a haircut? Sure. Was it my last chance for romance at the high school dance? You know, I knew I'm not going to have it for long. Grow it while you can. I did.
Your Fabio days are over.
My Fabio days are over, right? And so we're sitting around a hotel room, and we've been drinking quite heavily throughout the day.
By the way, premium tequila.
Premium tequila, always Patron. So any listeners out there, shout out Patron. I noticed you sliding into our DMs, and you know what? That's cool. So
on the rocks, by the way.
On the rocks.
And if you're a drinker,
out of plastic cups.
I highly recommend this. If you want to avoid hangovers, drink premium tequila on the rocks and just stick with that. Don't mix it, and stay consistent with it. Good times will happen, as you're about to find out.
Oh, man.
Good times.
Oh, man. So we're sitting there, a bunch of us in a room, and we're sitting there drinking. And Jay, you love to light me up about my hair. Like, that was like your thing for 2 years. Need a haircut. And at one point, it's funny because in our company, we've got like a group chat, right? And it's like all bets are off. We're always taking digs at each other. And you put in the group chat, you put a poll. Does Joe need a haircut? And oddly enough, it was a 50-50 split.
It was a 50-50
split. But we were talking about it and laughing about it in the hotel room. Now, this is like probably midnight, 11:30, midnight, maybe 1.
I may have threatened your job. I was like, you know what, Joe?
If
you don't get a haircut by Monday, you're fired.
Oh,
I cannot work with the guy with... I can't do it, Joe. Like... And I just kept ribbing
then you talked about the poll. You're like, and I even put a poll in the chat. And that thing only came back 50-50. And so we're sitting there laughing about it. But I think you were sitting closer to a wall than I was. And like...
We may have been loud.
Oh, but we also walked in with 2 full bottles of Patron that were now empty. And then all of a sudden we hear... And I'm like, what the hell is that? So I get up and I'm like, I don't even care. And I'm now in the washroom. Like, I'm standing there taking a leak. And of course, dude's in a hotel room. The door is probably open. You go walking over and you answer the door. And there is this woman at the door. And I'm like standing there taking a leak, like looking back.
She's probably like late 20s, early 30s. She wasn't that old.
Oh, I would say mid-30s.
Mid-30s?
Mid-30s, yeah.
Okay, so she wasn't that old. I mean, I've had some tequila. She may have looked younger.
She was right in that like sweet spot of like... Now, again, I hate bringing up the generational thing. But I guarantee that I don't think I'm sure she had a world of pronouns. Like, let's just...
She may have the Z pronoun or they pronoun. She may. I think she
seemed like
possibly
the type.
Woke.
That was the word I was looking for, right? She was very, very woke. And she opens up the door. And she like looks at me standing there going to the washroom, and she's like, I can help you. You don't need to work in a hostile environment. There are places you can go. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening here? And I'm like mid piss. And I'm looking back, and this woman's looking at me. And then all of a sudden, this weird Jason kicked in. And you're like, but admitted he needs a haircut. Which then took it from about a level of about a 6 out of 10 in terms of rage like, to a 9.
Just to give... Joe had a little bit of tequila. She wasn't talking to you while you were holding yourself peeing. No.
But I was in the washroom looking back.
I opened the door and I'm talking to her. She's like, excuse me, is there somebody else there with you?
Who needs a haircut?
I'm like, yeah, sorry. And she's like, can I talk to him, please? And then you come out and she's like, hey, just so you know, you don't need to put up with this level of harassment. You absolutely, like, I'm here. Here's my card. If you need somebody to talk to, this is not okay. Here's the firm that I represent. And like,
that's right.
And she was talking directly to Joe, and she like thought I was like the world's worst like employer.
But then you escalated it.
Oh, of course. She gave me low-lying fruit. What do you think a smart ass like me is going to do?
This is where it gets interesting. All this is happening, and she's looking at me with genuine empathy and concern. And I'm looking at her, and it's not very often that I don't have words. Like I always have, I'm a dude with words. But I, in that moment, did not have words. And all you could say was, but admit he needs a haircut.
Yeah, of course. I'm like, but seriously though, in all seriousness, look at the guy. He needs a haircut. And she got madder.
Oh, man.
And madder. And I just like, but you have to understand. And I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. But if I'm going to work with this guy, he needs to have a proper haircut. And
we're public figures.
Oh, man, I had to keep it up. And she finally realized that you weren't really a victim, I think, or that you weren't going to be like, you were too afraid to lose your job.
Yeah, I think she was like, it's a setup. It's a setup.
Anyways.
But man, that was like, I got to say though, it was one of those things we'll be laughing about for years, man.
Makes for a great story. And here's the thing, the point though that I'm trying to make from today, and please understand, sometimes you may be listening or overhearing a conversation between two guys, and it may be like, oh my God, I can't believe they're saying that. But you have to understand.
Oh yeah.
This is how most guys interact with each other. It's called friendly banter. It's literally, I see it. We have teenage sons.
Oh yeah.
And guess what they do? Do they rib each other?
Oh my God.
All the time. It's like you and I just sit there and kind of smile and laugh at each other because it's exactly the same stuff we're doing. They're just younger, right? But it's just the way it is. And it's the way we grow up. Yeah. And I know that it may not be how some people interact with each other, especially people in our opposite gender. And we get it. But you have to get that if you ever hear that, it's coming from a place of love. Like, I love this guy, but the guy needed a haircut.
Oh, and I will admit, did I need a haircut? Maybe. But it's funny because we were driving back from Whistler, and you're always like, man, premium tequila, you're never hungover. But I'm pretty sure there's been some times that we've been like hungover.
Tired. We might be tired.
Whatever's got to get you through the day, man.
We might be tired.
But I remember driving back, we still had the card, and we were like, do we send a dick pic, or do we like, what do we do here? But we did nothing. We did nothing.
By the way, I've never sent a dick pic, just so anybody knows. Like, I've never sent a dick pic ever.
No, I haven't either. I'm usually cum shot with the sound on. So anyway.
Okay, guys.
All right, this is going down.
We're going to transition this, but hey, by the way, how are things at home? How's Jen? How are the kids?
Oh man, things are great. You know, always it's always an adventure with kids. And the one thing that I have found is with teenagers, just how different they are. Like I have, my son's going to be, so Jackson's going to be 15, Claire's 14, raised in the same house. It's just funny how different they can be. I'm sure you notice that too with your boys. Well, just the personalities.
Oh man, I have 3 sons, 14, 12, 6, and then my daughter who's 3. And they're so different. All 4 of them are different.
It's crazy.
I find the boys to be a little more straightforward. My daughter is like so sweet when she wants to be sweet, like on a level that her brothers could never attain.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
she can turn on a dime on a level that her brothers just can't either. So it's like one of those things. It's like she is the sweetest, but she's also like,
as we say, shit or sugar.
yeah,
Right? You get one way or the
sweet
other.
or salty is probably the right thing. She's definitely a little
Yeah.
fireball. I blame her mother.
You place the blame solely on the shoulders
Because
of
her mom's
your
exactly the
teammates.
same way. 1 minute she loves me, and then boom, just like that, she turns on
That's
a dime.
hilarious.
Yesterday, you know what she got upset with me for? She told me, "Hey, can you grab the cinnamon?" She wanted me to put a little cinnamon on this thing that I made. I have.
She got an air fryer.
I got an air fryer.
That's a big
And
news
I
at the Simard house.
I cut up some bananas and I put them in the air fryer, and then I put a little cinnamon on that. Really good, actually. Nice little dessert, good topping. Well, she's like, well, grab the cinnamon out of the cupboard. So I grabbed the cinnamon and I tried to like take it apart, and it just wasn't coming off. So I got my scissors and I cut it partway through.
You cut it below the Ziploc line.
Yes,
didn't
I
you?
did. Joe, I did.
Didn't you?
I did.
Oh,
and then I got a
man.
little spoon and I put it on there, and then I put it back in the cupboard.
No.
Well, guess what happened? Not only did she walk into the room one time and she's like, babe, what is this? She's like, you could have asked me, blah, blah, blah. And she got all mad. And then I'm like, honey, just relax. I'm sorry, right? She leaves, comes back 30 seconds later with another bag of cinnamon that was already opened.
Oh,
I
no.
made the cardinal sin of opening
That
a
is-
bag of cinnamon when we already had one that was like
Man.
3/4 full, Joe. The look on her, in her eyes.
disdain.
Oh,
Disdain.
if she had a knife there, I probably would have been stabbed, and I may not be on this podcast right now. She
Man.
could not believe how stupid I could be to open cinnamon with scissors below the Ziploc line.
That is what they call, I don't care about anything else. That is the original sin, is opening up a second jar of pickles, second bag of cinnamon. And I think, man, like, I don't know what torment that could be worse than somebody getting pissed off about opening that second package.
How many men have not gotten love that night because of making a cardinal mistake just like that?
Not gotten that love.
How many men go to bed lonely, ashamed of themselves? They can't even believe that they would make such a cardinal mistake. Well, Joe, I make those mistakes often.
There's one
and
way-
I don't even do it on
but
purpose.
You can fix it. You can fix it.
How do I fix it?
Producer Ryan, do you know what he has? He's
that?
got a vacuum sealer.
Oh,
You can fix this.
Okay.
This could be fixed.
okay.
But I will say, I was thinking about you last night.
Yeah. Were you,
Oh,
yeah.
I was.
Yeah.
I
What kind of
was.
thoughts
Well,
were you having?
I knew there was a disturbance in the forest because I don't know if people know we live across the street from each other.
Oh, did you hear the stain coming from our bedroom?
I could smell it. It smelled like sulfur. The disdain.
Joe, I've had moments where I wake up and I look over and I swear her head does a full 360 and she breathes fire on me. Oh man, that's happened on more than one
So
occasion.
I was thinking about you last night. I started watching this show on Netflix. It's called Killer Sally.
Okay.
Have you seen that yet?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Is producer Paige? Okay. It is about a woman bodybuilder
Okay.
who kills her spouse.
Oh, jeez.
Jason, I'm concerned.
That was in my top 10 list. I purposely don't watch anything to do with women killing their husbands because I sleep with an eye open. Okay.
like, and in this documentary, this woman, Sally, she puts her husband on her shoulders and starts doing squats. And I was like, I think this is date night at the Simard house. I'm fairly certain that Jason is on her shoulders doing squats.
Okay. First off, I will say my wife is pretty strong,
She is jacked.
but I will throw the caveat she's strong for her gender. Okay.
Oh, jeez. Here
I'm gonna
we
offend
go.
somebody right now, but I like to remind her every once in a while that I am the top G in our household, that I am the one with the freaking most charm, the biggest arms.
But you can't figure out how to close a cinnamon.
But I can't figure out how to close cinnamon, okay?
Hey, God doesn't give up with both hands, man. Just like me, like, I wasn't born rich, I'm good looking instead. Like, I get it. You cannot have everything.
You can't have
I get it.
You can't have
I
everything.
get it.
So, transitioning to real estate, maybe we could talk a little bit of real estate today.
Well, yeah, I think there's about 2 minutes left.
What I want to talk about is the importance of quality, open-ended questions.
Oh, yes.
Because this is an area that I hear a lot of people make the cardinal mistake of asking questions that really aren't engaging, that really don't open up a prospect in any way, shape, or form. And then the feedback, they say, oh, that person wasn't interested. No, you asked terrible questions, and that's why they weren't interested.
Oh, guess what? They weren't interested in you.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Because if you ask a question, and if I say, hey, Joe, how are you?
Oh, man, I'm great.
You're just going to respond in a one-word answer, right? Tell me about your day. Different, right? Now I'm inviting you to tell me about your day.
So for anybody who has kids, how was your day at school versus what was the highlight of your day? Ask that question. Or your spouse or a friend or a family member, ask that question. Don't ever ask, how was your day? Oh, it was fine, whatever.
How was your day is basically saying, I could give two fucks about how your day was. I'm just actually just asking a question and I already know the answer and I don't actually want to talk to you.
Oh, exactly.
Right? But if you say, hey, babe, tell me about your day. Walk me through some of the things that you got done today.
Wow, I bought a second bag of cinnamon.
Yeah,
and I bought a vacuum sealer. So
that's very important.
I think so too. And I think people don't apply that enough in prospecting. I think that's a major issue because we get so many people that go, well, my leads are shit, right? Well, I'll tell you, you're getting the same leads that we're getting. We're just able to qualify better. And how we qualify better is we're actually emotionally invested in the conversation. And I think that Joe Langdon on our team, he's amazing at this. He is one of the greatest question askers and one of the most thoughtful people I've ever known. He sends me videos every week, and he sent me one about like the guys on like the Pawn Stars selling some stuff that they bought on a home shopping channel, because he knew I was talking to him about a product from a home shopping channel, but that was like weeks ago. But he asks questions and he relates stories, and everything is a narrative with him. So I think that is a lost art, that ability to ask a question and actually care about the response. Just, my 2 cents,
Active
man.
listening.
Active listening.
Here's one.
Active fidgeting.
Yeah, I'm a fidgeter. I fidget. I move a lot. Man, this whole podcast is
It's a new drinking game. How many times?
Like, Joe says I'm constantly adjusting the nipples on my mic.
Yeah.
I just like playing with the nipples, I guess. I don't know what it is.
I don't know.
It just is there, and I just want to twist it. So anyways, open-ended questions. If I say to you, Joe, I said, hey, Joe, what is it about your home right now that isn't quite working for you, that has you exploring other options?
Ooh.
That invites you to start opening up to me. If I want to get to your true why, asking a quality question like that will absolutely start getting conversation flowing. And what happens is when you become a master of asking open-ended questions that get people to elicit more information than they would have planned to give you, that is when you become a true advisor, because now you're doing 80% of the listening, 20% of the talking.
So, man, what a great point. So, hey, Jason, talk to me about, what is it with your home that's not working for you, that's got you exploring other opportunities or exploring this new move. That's what people should be asking, but what are they asking?
Well, people would ask questions like, are you working with a realtor?
Ooh, yeah.
As of one of the first questions they asked. Nothing says, I only care about myself and I could care less about you, than saying, are you working with a realtor? Because if they say yes or no, where do you go with that, right? So instead of saying that, you could say something like, Joe, tell me about some of the homes that you've seen recently that you've really liked. Or can you tell me about some of the homes that you've seen over the last several months? Well, I haven't seen any, or I've been to open houses, or I actually haven't been out to do that yet. Or, well, yeah, I've seen these. Oh, great. Well, tell me about the person that's been showing you the properties.
Talk to me about your previous experiences in real estate.
Yeah.
Same thing, right? Another big one. Another question that I can't stand that, to me, is like nails on a chalkboard is, are you pre-approved?
Oh, I hate that question.
But so many people ask it.
Yeah. Here's one. Write this one down, guys, if you're listening, okay? So if I asked you the question, I said, okay, Joe, you and Jen, you walk through this house. It checks off all the boxes for you, and you can actually see yourselves living there. In your mind, what would be the next steps that would need to happen in order for you and Jen to feel comfortable purchasing it?
Man, what a great question.
Don't say another word after that. Just listen and wait for them to respond. What you'll get often is, well, we need to talk to our bank. Oh, well, we need to sell our house, or we need to write an offer, or whatever anxiety, whatever thing that they haven't dealt with yet to get prepared to buy it will come to the forefront. And then your job is to basically help them self-identify what they need to do next. And it's amazing when people self-identify, they're much more likely to take action on something than you telling them. So all a good advisor does is ask questions that help them self-discover exactly where they're at. And then you just basically build a bridge. Well, in order to go from point A to point B, Joe, here's what our next step should look like. And you get a lot less objections when you make a recommendation. I'm going to give you another really great question. So, Joe, What would you hope to gain from a potential move?
That's a good one.
So much more powerful, right? These are questions about them. Joe, the last thing I ever want to do is rip your heart out by showing you a home that you wouldn't feel comfortable purchasing. Have you had a chance to explore what your payments would look like and what you'd be pre-approved for?
Ooh.
That's a different way of asking that, right? Make it about them. Never, ever make it about you, because it's not. As an advisor, it's always about your client. And I think sometimes realtors are just like, well, I don't want to waste my time. Well, I don't want to waste your time. It's a difference in mindset, right? That'll make a huge impact and bring great value. I almost
You got yourself.
there. Almost did.
Do you know what one of my favorite questions is? So, Jason, let me ask you, how does Natasha feel about this upcoming move?
Oh, such a good question. Always ask.
Because you've only talked, typically you've talked to one party at that point, but what amazing insight. Well, Natasha, we haven't really talked about it yet. Well, she doesn't really even know I'm making this call. Well, now you know the uphill battle that you're going to have to fight.
Yeah, I love that question, right? I always ask, hey, how does Natasha feel about this? Right? Well, I haven't even talked to her about it yet. Or, well, truth is, I'm actually planning to leave. I'm not. But, truth is, I'm not. Don't clip this because that'll sound really bad. But the truth is, like, well, I haven't had a chance to talk to her about it. Or we just started talking about it. Or, oh, my God, she, wanted to do this, yesterday.
This was her idea.
Right? So it's important to kind of get a sense of where the spouse is at. Because at the end of the day, one thing you have to understand is you can't get anybody to make a decision if there's more than one party involved. If there's two people on title of the property, Joe, I can't get you to sell the house without Jen's approval. So I need to get her thoughts on what is it that's causing her to want to explore this idea in the first place.
Yeah, and I think that you just need to be consistent. Like if you're really get consistent on asking those open-ended questions. And I think that having a well-presented script, I think is a huge plus. And I've seen some of the greatest prospectors on the planet. I mean, they've got that pasted on their wall, right? Have that resource available. Don't wing it. I hate when people wing it. Don't practice. Also, don't practice on your prospects.
Totally.
Have that partner. Have those scripts handy. Get your resources. Make it easier on yourself.
Totally. So, point of today, guys, ask better questions. If you guys want some better questions to ask, reach out to us. info@simscoachingsystems.com. We'll send you some open-ended scripts and dialogues that you guys can use with your buyers, your sellers, your phone prospects, things that work really effectively. We dropped some really good value on this. So if you guys were listening, take some notes, go back and listen to some of the points that we made there. If you're not subscribed to our channel, this is the first time you're checking us out. We've got some previous episodes that we've done. Check them out. We love to bring entertainment. We like to tell some good stories.
Every Tuesday.
But we also like to give you value so that you guys can end on something that's tangible that you can implement in your business. So Sims Coaching Systems, we're on Spotify. We're on Apple now. We're also on YouTube. You're going to find us if you want to follow us on Instagram, @Sims Coaching Systems is our handle. If you found this valuable, comment, guys. This is what helps us keep doing what we do. If you have topics that you'd want us to cover, we'd love to hear from you. And as always, Joe, I look forward to this. Is one of my highlights of my week. Every time that we do an episode, I just have so much fun.
I was on vacation last week and even made sure I was in here still making these podcasts, man. I love it. And just remember, get a haircut and get a real job.
Get a haircut, get a real job. And, next time you go to be a vigilante, just stop for a second and just think, just maybe there's some playful banter going on between two people.
She definitely kicked over
and not everything needs to be taken so literally. And if you did less of that, maybe we'd have a world where people are, feeling a little bit more comfortable.
Man, did she kick over a hornet's nest.
Oh, boy. That was awesome. But anyways, subscribe to our channel. Thanks for tuning in, guys. And as always, we appreciate you.